what's up, everybody? Welcome to Natural Languages, where you're going to learn how you can learn any language while enjoying the process every step of the way. That's right. Well, first of all, I hope you're all well, wherever you might be. And today I'm bringing you another video on how not to learn a language, okay? And today's video on how not to learn a language is trying to speak the target language from day one, okay? I know this is a consequence of what I call the traditional grammar approach, and I get it. We want to be able to speak as soon as possible because that's our ultimate goal, right? To be able to communicate with people from other countries in the native language, etc., right? Or to be able to use it for work and for other purposes, okay? But you know, what I'm about to say might seem pretty obvious, but I think we keep repeating the same mistake, you know. And correct me in the comment section below if I'm wrong, but I believe that the number one frustration for a language student is not being able to speak the way they'd like to in any given point. Okay, like I said, this might sound obvious, but I think it's not, because we keep repeating the same mistake. We keep trying to speak the target language from day one, and I'm sorry to tell you that the process doesn't work like that. All right. So to give you an example, imagine you can understand this much in any specific language, okay? Because you can understand this much, you think, well, because of the traditional grammar approach, you think that you should be able to speak at a similar rate, right? But it just doesn't work like that. You know, let me know in the comment section below if you can relate to this. But you're learning a second language or a foreign language, and you know you're watching a documentary, reading a book, or whatever it is, and you can perfectly understand it, or you get most of it. But then when you go out to the real world and try to speak, many of the words that you perfectly understood, you just can't use them. You know, they don't come to your mind. Let's put it that way, okay? And again, we just have, you know, I talk about this all the time, and I'll keep repeating it. Let's look back at the example of kids and the native language. Again, when they're 9 months old, 10 months old, 1 year old, they don't speak a single word yet, but they can understand a lot, right? Have you noticed that? That, I don't know, a kid is 1 year old and you tell them, grab the red car, and they go grab the Ferrari, or, you know, for example. So they react accordingly to what you said, and that tells you they understood what you told them. But they're just not able to start speaking yet. It's just how the language mechanism works in our brain. You know, it's nothing it's not something I invented. You know, it's just how the process works. We see it all the time. And like I always say, it's, you know, kids with the native languages, it's a process that works 100% of the time. We all acquire our native languages. All right. So again, we just have to look at that example once again. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, because we believe that we should be able to speak at a similar rate that what we're able to understand, and we actually can, frustration comes in, right? And that leads to, you know, lack of motivation and to ultimately giving up, right? I mean, can you relate to that feeling? I certainly could a few years ago, right? So yeah, my tip for today, or my suggestion is, don't worry about speaking, don't worry about output. That's going to come eventually. If you follow the right principles, it's going to come, believe me. And again, focus on comprehensible input, focus on listening, reading, all right? That's how you learn a language, by getting comprehensible input, okay? So again, focus on reading and listening, and your output will show up eventually as a consequence, and it will be natural, believe me. And like I always say, when I'm talking about getting comprehensible input, I'm talking about interesting activities. I'm talking about watching TV, reading books, etc. So it's not that I'm telling you to study grammar and stuff like that, right? So yeah, that's my, you know, my most important tip for today. Because I've seen it in myself. I see it all the time in my students, in people I meet. You know, I go to a language exchange and people have the same problem over and over again. They try to speak from day one. They try to speak when they're not ready yet. And again, I get it. I know our ultimate goal is to be able to speak, to be able to communicate in a target language. but it just doesn't work like that. You know, just notice how you can always understand way more than you can speak in any foreign language. It works like that. All right. So, you know, you can continue to try to speak from day one, but believe me, you're going to get frustrated. I've felt it. I've seen it in my students. I've seen it in a lot of people, you know. And this is sort of a joke, but I always tell people the same thing. If you believe that by practicing or by speaking, you're going to get better, why don't you pick any foreign language and, you know, you start learning the grammar, memorizing vocabulary, etc. And when you feel ready, just go, you know, put yourself in front of the mirror and start speaking to yourself. And, you know, do that over and over every single day, and let me know what happens. I mean, I don't recommend you do that, okay? It's just a joke, because we learn a language by getting comprehensible input, all right? And I'm gonna tell you the last crazy thing. You actually can learn a language without even speaking. You don't need to speak a single word to learn a language. How crazy is that? Yeah. But the ironic or the crazy thing is you don't need to speak a single word to learn a language, but if you do it the right way, you're gonna eventually be able to speak the language, and naturally. It might sound crazy, I know, but it's just how it works. So again, focus on reading and listening. That's all you need to learn a language. If you understand what you're listening to, if you understand what you're reading, you're learning the language. It's that simple, all right? And you'll see it, output will come out eventually. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it's one of the most important things to understand, you know, like the difference between input, output. Like that's how the process works, you know, and that's, to me, that's one of the most important things that we need to understand in order to learn a language. All right. So yeah, that's it, guys. And if you enjoyed it, just, you know, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you didn't do it yet, and click the notification bell as well if you don't want to miss out on any of my videos. And yeah, comment in the comment section down below if there's anything you want to ask me, if you can relate to any of the situations I talked about in this video, or, you know, whatever you have in mind or whatever you want to ask me, I'm here to help you out. All right. So thank you, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.